Hi, I would like to begin a discussion around, do you really want to change who you are? And what I mean by that is, a couple of days ago I put a post on one of my social media pages about what would you change? What would you have done differently? Now, as ever, I'm always fascinated by the comments, the responses, and the answers that people give. And actually, today, as I think about it, I'm actually still really surprised by my answer. Because regardless of where we are today and the shape that we take and our lives take, we are only who we are because of absolutely everything we have experienced. And when I ask, do you really, really want to change who you are? The answer to that, if you answered yes, is actually a physical impossibility. Because if you wanted to change who you are in this moment, you would have to go back in time and change your past. Now, it's a known fact that that's not possible. But from this moment, you can make a different decision from past experiences. So when I ask what would you change and what would you have done differently, I am always fascinated when people say, oh yes, I would change this, I would have asked for this, I would have done this differently, I would have been more like this, I'd have said this instead of this. When we actually think about what we're saying, we're actually saying that I want to go back into time, into my history and change. We can't do that. So for me, there comes an acceptance of actually, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for all these experiences and opportunities and circumstances, good, bad, or indifferent, that have shaped me as I am today. Looking back, we can only join the dots up by looking back. Looking back on that experience, what I have taken from that is. So if I wished I'd stood up for myself when I was younger, I physically can't go back and change it. But having experienced the regret or the pain for not standing up for myself, when that situation comes back round again from a previous experience, I now know how I want to behave, think, or act. I hope that makes sense, because we have all had experiences in our lives that I'm sure we would like to put a big fat cross through and think, I wish that hadn't happened, or I would have done that differently. But the fact of the matter is that we can't. So what I want us to have a think about, and if you dare and you feel brave enough or courageous enough to share it in this page, and I will put a comment in here under this link rather than share it here now, I want to ask you, go back to an experience or a time in your life that you would have changed if you could, if you had a time machine. And I want you to have a think about why you would have changed it. Because in that why you would have changed it, whatever comes up for you, the reason you want to change it is probably because it had a bad or negative impact on your life. Whether it was a death in the family, or whether you said something to somebody you wished you hadn't, or you'd done something, or somebody had done something to you. We have labelled it as something that has had a negative impact on our life, and we have then suppressed that and put it at the back of the cupboard. The problem with doing that is that each time that feeling comes up, we go, oh no, this is not good, and we squash it back down again and we shove it back in the cupboard. You're not coming out. I don't want to experience and feel and think that again. And we keep doing this and we keep doing this and we keep doing this. Whereas I'm asking you, us, to have a look at those experiences and take from it, what is it that made me want to put a big fat cross through this part of my life, to wish this had never happened, to wish I'd done it differently. Take a look at why. See what comes up for you. Ask why. And then if you feel brave enough, pop it in the comments below. Or if not, please message me and I will put it in anonymously for you. Because I want us to understand that all of the things that we believe have had a negative impact on our life could actually quite possibly hold our greatest gifts. Our greatest gifts. I'm going to post my experience in here so you can get an idea of what I mean. But I would love to hear from you, because what we will find is that every single one of us, however marvellous our lives might be, or not as the case might be in this moment, we all have things that we wished would have happened differently or not at all. But in those experiences is something incredibly profound that could possibly be your greatest gift. In fact, I'm almost certain it's your greatest gift. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to catching up with you soon. Bye bye.